right, here we are. We're going to have a quick look at Canva and how to use Canva specifically to create a graphic for your podcast. So what we're going to do is you will log into a Canva account. This can be free. I did this using my school Google account. You can do that. If it doesn't work, you may need to look at using a private Google account or some other email address. But you're going to log into Canva. You do not have to pay for this, so you can do it for free. You can also do this on an app. Now, I'm not going to go over how to do this on the app. You may need to look up another tutorial for how to do that. But what we're going to do is, in Canva, we're going to come and click on Custom Dimensions. And for the podcast that we are going to be using, we're going to be using the service is called Anchor. And I realized that their graphics are 600 by 600 pixels. Going to type that in, click Create New Design. And then that will open up and it will allow you to start working. So there's different things you can do. You have this 600 by 600, which is a 1 by 1 square. You can come in here and you can find all kinds of different things that you might want to use for this. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to click Photos. And I'm going to type in podcast. And when I do that, I'm going to look and see if there's anything that I want to use. You'll notice some of these it pops up and says free. Some of these say pro. Some of these have dollar signs. You want to avoid these, the dollar signs, all of that, and just use some of the free ones. There may be a way to actually import images into this. I'm not sure. I haven't done that. But I'm just going to take this one. I'm going to click on it because it's free. And that's going to go here. And you'll notice that that does not fit entirely inside of my workspace. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag the edge until it fits off to the right and all the way to the top. Drag here until it fits down at the bottom. Then I'm actually going to drag it over just a little bit. I like the microphone being in there. But I want to be able to use more of this empty space. As an area where I can put in text so that I can actually put the title of my podcast here. So to add the text, I'm going to click on text. They've got headings, subheadings, all of this stuff. They also have different things that you could come in here and use that are free. So if there's things that you want to use that are there, you can do that. Let's see, I may like this one, so I'll just click it, drag it over here. And then I can go in and type in the name of my podcast. So I'm going to say this is the, I don't need that, new normal. The new normal, that'll be the name of my podcast. And I want it to be with Mr. Dempsey. So now I can come here and I can drag this around. I can come in here and I can highlight all this and change if I can get it. There we go. By using this to adjust that, I want that to be right justified. And the same thing here. I want this to be right justified. And then I could come and drag this to get it to do what I want it to do. So let's see, maybe center it there. And you see, like when you're dragging it around, the purple popped up around there. That let us know that it is centered pretty well there. So the new normal with Mr. Dempsey. So just talk about what life is like now that we are not at school, but we are still doing school. There's a lot going on in the world, so we're going to talk about that and see how it goes. But that's it. I created a 600 by 600 graphic for my podcast. Now I'm going to go up here and I'm going to click download. And I highly recommend that you use the PNG. They do have a JPEG, which is a smaller version, not necessarily as high quality. So I would go with that and then just click download. It's going to take a minute. I am not going to do any of this. I'm not upgrading and I don't need to continue editing. But now I should, and you can't see it, but now here's my graphic, the new normal with Mr. Dempsey. So 600 by 600 graphic. And now when I go into Anchor, I will be able to use this as the cover image for my podcast. I hope that helps. There's a lot that you can do in here. Play around with it. I encourage you to not spend any money. That is entirely up to you, but I would recommend you not do it. And you could create something that looks pretty cool and works for what we're doing. Let me know if you have any questions.